here, I'll make myself available and I'll say, ask your millionaire mentor any question you want. By any, I do mean any. So welcome, thank you for being here. I think we're queuing up TikTok Live and Instagram Live and YouTube Live and all that good stuff. If you have a question, first of all, I'm throwing out $20 for intelligent questions. You know what they say? They say that dumb questions deserve dumb answers. I'm not even going to answer any dumb questions. My team is going to be vetting whether the question is smart or stupid. But you got a good question and my team picks it. And if you're registered for my May 6th event, then you're literally going to text this number. If I pick your question, drop me your name and Venmo, and I'm going to send you $20. Go take yourself out for a nice hamburger on Uncle K. Listen, hopefully you're doing super well today, and so I just want to welcome you and let you know it is full on game on team. If they got questions, do they just hit it up on YouTube community chat?
Just the YouTube chat.
Guys, right here on the YouTube chat, right here. You got a question right now? Go ahead and ask me your question. By the way, you could ask questions about real estate, how to make $1 million. This year, Kris predictions. When's the market bubble going to pop? You could ask me about my sex life. I'm not saying I'll answer, but literally everything is on the table, knock on wood. So first of all, welcome. By the way, I want to do some shout outs. So who we got coming on and saying hi and lighting up the chat? I just want to...
We got Kim Brown.
What's up, Kim? How you doing?
Bomber.
Jared, welcome. Glad to have you here. Nick, glad to have you. David, what's up, brother? Selbus, what's up? Devin, listen, we got a lot of you joining here, and so I just want to say thank you, and I want to use this half hour and go as far as we can. I'm going to create as much value. So with that, questions right now in the chat, let them roll in, let's build some value, and just remember, $20 is coming your way if you're registered for number one, my May 6th event with Dolph DeRoos. He and I are going to teach 5 ways of doing $1 million deals with no money out of pocket. It's going to be dope. May 6th, it's happening in the evening. Dolph is a stud. He was my original mentor in real estate. So if you're registered for that, it's free. It's just an hour of amazing education and learning. And then more importantly, there's also $20 coming your way as long as the question gets picked.
And we're going to drop the link to register in the comments.
Awesome. In the comments below, my team is also giving you how you register for free for May 6th. I'm doing that because it's in response to our insane, crazy economy. And I just want to thank President Biden for trying to double capital gains and also passing on our generational wealth. Instead of saying, here family, here's $11.7 million untaxed dollars, lowering it all the way to $3.5 million. All it does is light a fire in my belly that says, guess what? You're in charge of your financial destiny, so guess what? Game on, here we go. Question number 1.
Kim Brown says, are there different kinds of Helocs?
All right, Kim Brown, first of all, great question. Are there different kind of Helocs? Now, by the way, Kim, if you click the link and you're registered, and then after I'm done answering it, you can text this phone number right here, 801-252-5602. Put your name, your Venmo handle, and I'm going to send you a hamburger. $20, do with it whatever you want. Are there different kind of Helocs? Everybody? HELOC, home equity line of credit. It means that you own a home, and the house is worth more than what you owe, and you walk into the bank and you say, bank, I would like to have some of that money. And they say, how would you like it tied to your own private equity credit card? It's called a home equity line of credit. If you use it, you got payments. If you don't use it, you don't got payments. Money is free, rates are low, you want a home equity line of credit. Are there different types of home equity line of credits? Asks Kim. And the answer is, not really, but let me just show you a strategy that you should be aware of. When you go to a bank and you want money out of your house, other than selling it, there's 2 ways of getting money out. One is doing a home equity line of credit, and one is doing a cash out refinance. Let me explain them. With a home equity line of credit, let's say that your house is worth $300,000. Let's say that you owe $150,000. So it's half paid off. Here's what you're going to do. The bank will let you borrow up to 80% of the value. 80% of $300,000 is $240,000. You owe $150,000. The difference between $150,000 and how much the bank will allow you to borrow $240,000 is $90,000. So with this $300,000 house that's half paid off, the bank says, we'll give you a $90,000 of money. So you think, how should I access that $90,000? If I do a cash out refinance, the bank is going to charge me $7,000 in closing costs, and I have to take all $90,000 out up front. And if you don't use all $90,000, just part of it, but you're paying interest on all $90,000, plus you have the closing costs. I don't like to do a cash out refinance unless I know exactly what every penny is for. What I'm going to do, Kim, I'm going to do a home equity line of credit because it costs free $99. no money for the bank to actually supply that loan for you. And if you decide to use 10 grand of it, you're only charged cheap interest on 10 grand. If you use all 90 grand, you're charged cheap interest on 90. But if you put it out and the money comes back, you can pay that home equity line back off like a credit card, and it's available again. Kim, great question. Make sure that you click the link, you're registered for May 6th. Text this phone number, your name, your Venmo handle, and we will make sure to give you $20. All right, question number 2.
Izzy M.
What's up, Izzy M?
I am a young investor searching for a rental property. Who is the first individual I should go to make this buy?
All right, so say it again. So we got Izzy, who is a young investor, and what does he want to know?
Searching for a rental property. Who is the first individual they should talk to make the buy happen, make the purchase happen?
All right, so Izzy, as this young investor, wants to figure out how can he buy this investment property. Traditionally, what needs to happen, step 1, Izzy, by the way, this is a good question. Everyone give it up for freaking Izzy. Good question. Step 1, before you go look for a house, you got to ask yourself, do I have a strategy to pay for that house? Now, the most common strategy is you're pre-qualified, you've got a 20% down payment, and you go to a bank and say, bank, get me pre-qualified. What does that mean? That means that the bank says, Izzy, if you get a house under contract up to this amount, we're saying that you're qualified with this bank to get a loan. That's what most investors do. That's an example of traditional. That is your first step before you actually go and look for a house. The second option is to say, well, shoot, I'm a young investor, maybe I'm an old investor, I've got money. You know what you need to do? You need to find a Luke. Let me tell you what that means. Luke, come on over here. I'm going to show you what a Luke is. Luke, how do you do, brother?
Good.
Have you been buying some properties?
I have, yeah.
By the way, how many have you bought in the last year?
2.
He's bought 2 properties, by the way. It has been exciting.
Yeah, it's fun.
Now listen, Luke is an employee of my company. He's a member of the team. When someone's a member of my team, I give them the ultimate hookup. They get $100,000 of freebies. He's using that to go and buy real estate. But for this example, let's just assume for a moment that Luke was my buddy, not someone working with me.
I am your buddy.
And I know we are buddies, and I'm an investor. And I say, Luke, I got a hot to trot deal. I want to get it, but I don't have the money for the down payment.
I've got some money.
You got some money?
Yeah.
Guess what I have? I have a funding partner. So that's the second. I can have the bank as a funding partner if I have the money for down payment. But if I don't, go find someone with the money. If you have a good deal, I promise you the money is always available. And I'm going to give you a third example as a possible first step. Luke, good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
So here's your third option. You can look for a deal where you can do what's called a version of seller financing. Instead, you might say something like, I'm looking for a motivated seller. I'm not looking for a house. I learned this from Robert Giallo, one of my mentors. He says, you're not looking for a house, you're looking for an investor. You're looking for a person. You're looking for a don't wanter. A motivated seller is a person that owns a home that doesn't want to own a home. And 1% of all homes on the market, Izzy, guess what? They're owned by motivated sellers. Someone says, I inherited this, it's family drama, I need to dump it. It could be someone who is saying, hey, me and my wife are getting divorced. No, I'm asked to move, I lost my job. I've got debts, I've got reasons in my life that I need to get rid of this house because I may not be able to pay it. If you can solve that person's problem, they can give you their house. And guess what? That's called a no money down deal. So Izzy, when you say I'm a young investor, what are my first 3 steps? Or first steps, I give you 3 options. Step 1 is go to a bank and get pre-qualified. Don't got money? Option number 2, find a Luke. Don't got that going for you? Option number 3, find that owns real estate that doesn't want it. And those are 3 different ways to work a deal. Boom! Izzy, we got $20 coming your way. All you got to do is text this phone number, drop your name and Venmo handle, and we got that coming your way. Make sure you're also registered for May 6th. Guys, if you don't know, Dolph DeRoos, one of my original mentors, before Kris Krohn did $1 billion in transactions, before Kris Krohn did 5,000 deals, was a young, dumb kid, kind of chunky, overweight, low self-confidence, wasn't feeling great about life, and didn't have a financial future. And I listened to this guy, Dolph DeRoos, on audio. And he's not from America, he's got a New Zealand accent, and I would listen to him teach me, Kris, the deal of the decade comes along every week. And I found my first deal, and that, 4.5 years later, turned into financial freedom for me. So thank you, Dolph. Dolph is joining me on a Give Back May 6th to teach you the top 5 no money down techniques. It's going to be dope. All right, question number 3.
Hold on. This is
What do we got?
another question. Darby Tyree is asking.
What's up, Darby?
She's asking if we'll hire her on our team. So I just wanted to say, go ahead and email me.
Okay, Darby, our team is growing, our team is expanding, and our team, we are hiring.
Yeah.
Darby's like, I want $1,000
Make it happen.
Kris Krohn giveaways. Well, yes, you can get a Carson.
Email me.
Thanks, Carson. All right.
This is a TikTok listener from his name, Daboos.
What's up, the booze from TikTok?
What are some underrated side hustles?
Underrated side hustles. Man, there are so many things out there that are overrated right now. The most hustle that I'm currently aware of is backyard home project brokering. And what that means is that because of COVID, people are putting a lot more money, time, effort, and energy into fixing up their house. They want their yard to look nice. They want to replace their roof. They want to finish this room. They want to like repave their whatever. They want planter boxes. And so understand, Daboos, that those projects, we are intelligent Americans, and when we want someone to fix crap at our house, guess what we do? We go to the internet. But the people that do the fixing are not on the internet. Handymen, handywomen, construction people, they work through word of mouth, which means there's a strong disconnect between where we go to look to hire stuff to make our house better and where the people are that can actually make that happen. The most underrated hustle that I'm aware of right now is becoming a home project broker. You could pay $1, $5, or $10 for a lead. For example, I got a buddy in my office. He has a $7 lead out there. His name's Ryan Rice, and he says, if you need a remodel, call me. When they call him, he passes the lead on to his construction buddy. Last week, he just landed a $200,000 remodel. He got paid a $26,000 referral fee for doing a handoff. Now, that's an extreme example, but there's $500, $1,000, and $2,000 to be made left and right on tiny little stuff that's happening right now in your backyard. By the way, if you guys want to learn how to boost, if you want to learn how to take advantage of that hustle, then just go ahead and comment on that and say, I want Kris Krohn's most underrated hustles. And team, anyone that's commenting on that, let's go ahead and get them over to a member of our team and we'll hook you up on that. All right. Daboos, really great question. Thank you from TikTok, 801-252-5602. Text that, drop your name and Venmo, and as long as you're registered for May 6th, guess what, brother? We got $20 coming your way. It's a Kris Krohn hamburger. What do we got?
Tell them do not text our Venmo handle unless we choose our question.
Yeah, this Venmo handle is not for you to text unless we pick your question because we think you got smart questions. Team?
Is this live?
This is live. Are we getting any dumb questions?
Yeah,
Don't
people are
ask
saying, is this
those.
live?
Yes, this is not recorded at this time. It is 11:15 a.m. Mountain Time here in Utah, and I'm ringing the bell. What do we got?
Tim McAvoy says, I have a 780 credit, $5K to use a down payment, but I'm having trouble qualifying for a mortgage now that I'm self-employed.
Okay, real quick. Tim McAvoy, give me the numbers.
780 credit,
780 credit score,
50K to use as a down payment,
50K.
but he's having trouble getting qualified for a mortgage because he's self-employed. My taxes show little to no income due to write-offs. What is the move?
Awesome. Okay, any of you that are watching right now are saying, hey, I've got money to buy an investment property. I've also got an amazing credit score. Let me just kind of break it down so you understand. Credit score, the highest credit score you can have is 850. And if it's below 500, it's crappy. You did something wrong or something did something wrong to you. Right now, average credit score in this country is 660. So 700 is great credit. 780 is amazing credit. I think my credit score is, there's three of them, right? There's Experian, Equifax, and whatever, TransUnion. And I think I got a 780, an 810, and an 840. So over the years, because I have a lot of money and I can pay all my stuff, I've got really great credit history. 780 for Tim is really fantastic. He's got $50,000. Tim, if you can find a hot deal in the right market, I got news for you. $50,000 is a 20% down payment, and there's a good chance in the next 5 years that that house is going to go between $100,000 and $200,000 in value, which means that you have an opportunity to double, triple, or maybe even quadruple your money in the next 5 years. So I understand, Tim, why it's important for you to do this. But you have a problem like many people do, one that I've faced time and time again over the years. The bank looks at you and says, Tim, you're a high risk. We are having a hard time qualifying you because you're self-employed. And so everyone can understand when you're self-employed, all the revenue that comes in your business, you've got to pay it out for all your expenses. And sometimes your write-offs are so big that it looks like even though you paid yourself that you don't got money, or if you've been self-employed for less than 2 years, the bank's not going to qualify you. So Tim, I got news for you. I created a private fund, and guess what that fund is used for? It's used for my partners that are in your exact situation so that you actually don't have to go through banks. I'm going to pull up Luke again because I want to give you an example. This time, Luke, who, by the way, a member of my team, has bought 2 homes in the last 2 years. If you want to know if a company is really who they say they are, pull back the curtain and look at their employees and teams and ask, are they following the guidance and direction of the products being sold? By the way, are we?
Yeah, oh, everybody.
Are you killing it on your hustles?
Yes.
Do you own real estate?
Yes.
Yeah, guys, this is what our culture is. This stuff works and we're getting people rich and it's super awesome because you got one life to live. But Tim, in this example, we're not going to say that my friend Luke here has money. We're going to say that he has a great job, he's financially conservative, he's got a great credit score, but he's W-2 because he's got a job. He's not self-employed. And I go to him as you. Tim, this is an idea you can use, and I say, hey, buddy with really amazing credit that lives a financially conservative lifestyle and has a really great job, and I don't because I'm self-employed because I'm trying to manifest my own destiny. Guess what? Can I borrow your credit and pay you some money so I can buy this investment property?
Yeah.
He says yes. Why? Because he's my buddy, and I said, guess what? Money talks. So I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write you a $2,000 check, and then I'm going to use your credit, and I'm going to hold this home for X period of time, and when I sell it, I'll take 5% of all my profits of the sale, and I'll also give that to you.
Okay.
And I think it'd be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and here's my background on why I'm creditworthy, but here's why banks are stupid and they're not allowing me to get a loan. What do you say?
Yeah.
And he looks at me, he looks at my 50K, he says, this looks pretty legit. And what's Luke thinking? Luke's thinking, whoa, 2,000 to $7,000 just walked into my lap because I'm being rewarded for having good credit. No one's ever treated me that way before. All you need is one Luke to say yes, and guess what? You've gotten all creative, you got your game on, and you're doing the game of real estate, Tim. All right, guys, give it up one more time for Luke. Thank you, brother. Tim, really great question, educational for all of us. And I got something for you right now. If you want access to the top 3 markets instead of your backyard for dropping 50K, and you want to look at partnering with me, then I want to get a comment below. Any of you that, whether you have good credit or horrible credit, if you've got money that you're trying to put in real estate through a 401k and IRA, and you just don't know how, I want you to drop in the comment and say, I want to partner with Kris. And if you say, I want to partner with Kris and put your phone number, I'll have a member of my team call you and break that down, Tim, what that looks like. But in the meantime, I got $20 coming your way. If you're registered for May 6th, you're going to text 801-252-5602. And Tim, you're just going to drop your name, your Venmo handle, and it's just a $20 thank you from me to you. Take yourself out for lunch, and it's on me.
Hey, from TikTok, this is actually from Arizona Valley Contracting LLC.
Arizona Valley Contractor LLC. Your parents gave you a very formal name.
How do you feel about RV parks?
Okay, Arizona, let's talk RV parks. So first of all, I have 2 friends that are worth one's 9 figures and one worth 10 figures. That means one is worth around $500 million, one's worth over $1 billion, and they did it all through mobile home parks. It's a niche that I don't participate in because even though I believe you can have it all, I don't believe you should do it all. I believe that you should niche down and pick your niche. So, by the way, because I have these 2 very close buddies and they've rolled back, one of them flies in on his private chopper and we're sitting down, he's chatting it all up on how he does it. I'm like, got it. Your daddy, actually your granddaddy, bought a bunch of mobile parks, and then 50 years later, you're a trust fund baby, and now you can pretty much live any life you want. Let's not talk about that or judge that. That's the power of passing on real estate, whether you give it to family heirs or whether you give it to your foundation charity so that you can leave a legacy when you leave this mortal coil. That's up to you. Mobile home parks, I got 2 people that I know that slay it. So I know that you can do really good ROI. It's just a game, and it's a game that you got to master if you want to become really good at it. So Arizona, great question. Make sure that you text, drop name, and Venmo. Registered for the 6th of May, and boom, you guys are good to go.
Kris, there's one more thing we gotta answer real quick.
Sure.
People on the chat that are just with you, where can we send them?
Well, I said that they can just do that, but oh yeah, go to kriskrohn.com, partnering. So we'll write that down there if you guys want to do that. I just want for just a second to tell you guys what's happening in the real estate market. I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what's happening on May 6th. You understand that rates are at a 50-year low, and it's not going to stay that way for long. You also understand that Wall Street Journal last week came out and said we're missing 4 million homes, which, by the way, builders, if they go as fast as they can, they will not be able to rebuild those 4 million missing homes in less than 5 years, which means the market has to keep on what? It has to keep shooting up. The price of lumber has doubled and tripled. The price of steel has doubled and tripled. Like, it's mania and it's crazy, and I got news for you. It's going to continue. This is a byproduct of hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is when the government prints recklessly a whole bunch of money to solve its problems and doesn't think about the consequences. Now, over the last 100 years, the dollar value has created year over year an average of 3.1%, which means if you put $100 in the bank, next year it's worth $97, and the year after it's worth $3 less than that. That's called inflation. Hyperinflation when it's not 3%. Hyperinflation is when it is 10, 15, 20, and 25%. We are sitting in hyperinflation. How do I know it? Because nothing changed in the last 12 months except prices skyrocketed $70,000 to $100,000. It's going to happen this year, next year, and the year after. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. So what does that mean for guys like you and I that are actually watching this? It means that if you have money in the bank, you're going to suck wind. You're going to say, this sucks. I hate that my dollar is now not going down to 3%, but 20%. On the other hand, if your assets, if you transfer your money and put it into real estate, guess what will happen? It can shoot through the roof. When we don't have hyperinflation, I show people, can you see this? Is this okay up here?
Yep.
I show people how to take $50,000 and over 20 years, I can turn that into $4.3 million. It's fully passive, fully turnkey. In this economy, 50,000 does not turn into 4.3 million. It can turn into an 8-figure number, which is why people all over the world are lining up to actually partner with me, and we're picky and we're choosy. You do have to have $50,000 to drop itch on a piece of property, and no, you don't have to go through banks. But that's what this link is all about. So only go here if you actually have assets in the bank and you actually want to learn about partnering, because $50,000 can turn into retirement. Now we're 50-50 partners, so that's $2 million for you, that's $2 million for me. That's one of my ways of getting to $1 billion, because guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to earn $1 billion and I'm going to give $1 billion away, and I'm not going to give that to Uncle Sam. I'm going to keep every penny I possibly can for myself, and I'm going to share it with the world on my terms, because I am my own hired official. I elect myself. I am the chairman of the board. I'm here to change the planet. I don't have to trust other people to do that. All right, next question.
Take your marker with you. Thomas Drew says,
Thomas.
I'm going to see a $205,000 duplex.
Okay, it's a 200 what?
205.
$205,000 duplex. Next.
Rent one side for $850, other side is $900.
$850, $900.
His estimate is $210,000. Is this a good deal?
His estimate is what?
$210,000.
For the value?
Value going.
All right, so let's talk about this. First of all, Thomas, congratulations on being in the mental game of real estate. Here's what I want you to be aware of. I don't know what market this home is in, because there are areas of Detroit, there are areas of Cleveland, there are areas where I would not buy a house, and you have to be careful. But without knowing the area that it's in, here's what I want you to be thinking about. If the duplex is worth $210,000, but you can get it for $205,000, a person might think, geez, Kris, that is not really a good ROI as far as a discount. But let me share with you what I love about this property that you're talking about. Let's just say that you have to put 20% down on this duplex, 20% down on $205,000, wrapping some closing costs. Let's say it's $40,000, $50,000. So you're going to have a note to the bank for $160,000. In today's market, that's going to cost you maybe $1,100 a month, plus or minus $100. Well, if I'm bringing in $1,750 a month, should both sides be rented, but it's costing me $1,100, there is a delta, or let's call it a difference, of $650 a month. Would I do this deal? I would do this deal, as long as it's in the right market. So by the way, Thomas, really great question. Do your due diligence. Make sure you're smart about it. And otherwise, you got $20 coming your way. Join me May 6th. Dolph and I are going to talk about commercial real estate. Everyone thinks that commercial is out because of what's happened in the market. I got news for you. Commercial is on the rise. And with commercial, you don't have to come up necessarily even with any down payments. Dolph made $30 million on a single deal. Dolph has worked on $2 billion deals. So with commercial, sometimes one deal is enough to become financially free for life. That's why I think May 6th is going to be really powerful. But for you, Thomas, text this number, drop your name, your Venmo. We got $20 coming your way. Thank you for your super intelligent question, and congratulations on being an active real estate investor. You're smart. Next.
Non-exories.
Non what?
Non-exories.
Is that the name?
That's what they.
I'm just going to call you Non.
Yeah.
And I'm going to think Indian food. I love Non. All right, Non. What's up?
This actually, no marker needed. Is it still possible to buy a good deal in Utah?
Oh, okay. So to all my Utah friends, I have a lot of close friends. I have employees, I have team members that are saying, hey, Kris, in the Utah market, the median was $250,000. Now it's over $400,000. It's gone up $150,000. Should I personally be buying a house? And here's my answer. And this is not for Utah. This is nationwide. My advice is changing. Normally, I house hack. I say buy a primary residence and come up with a 3 to 3.5% down payment, because on a $300,000 home, what is that? 10 grand? That's different than an investment property where the down payment would be $50,000 or $60,000. So I love house hacking with primary residences. Except for this economy, it's not true of every market, but it certainly is true of Utah and many others, where you're like, well, Kris, should I buy that house for now $400,000 here in Utah? And here's my answer. If you knew in 7 years that it would be worth less than $300,000, would you do it? That is the assumption that you have to run with. If you knew in 7 years that it was going to be worth $100,000 less, would you do it? And if the answer is no, then say, Kris, what should I be doing? Don't buy, don't build, invest. This is like, if you're an investor, everything is counter-cyclical. The 4 million homes that people are demanding out there are for homes for people to live in. You know what? That's great, Yahoo, good for them. But a lot of those are vanity purchases. Those are people that are saying, hey, Kris, I got news for you. With this whole COVID thing, I'm never going back to work. I want my house to be dope. I want it to be bigger. I want it to be nicer. And that's what a lot of those vanity purchases are. And if you knew that your $400,000 house in 7 years could be worth $300,000, would you do it? If the answer is no, delay gratification. Don't put your focus there. Put your focus on becoming an investor. Be smart, make money. Non, really great question. Go ahead and text, name, Venmo, that number. I got $20 coming your way. Really glad that you asked it.
Kris, we have King.
King, what's up? King Ching.
Says.
Cha-ching. I call you Cha-ching. Can I do that? That's your new nickname. It is Cha and Ching. What's up, brother?
Some cash register makes.
He says, would it be wise to invest into very beautiful mobile homes and rent out each room to college students with annual lease agreements?
Well, listen, let me ask you. Do you know of college students that love living in mobile home parks? I don't. But maybe you do. Maybe there's a special place somewhere in the country where a bunch of students get together and they say, hey, yo, there's this trailer park. Let's go turn that into the college scene. If that's the case, it could be a good idea. I've never heard of that, so I'm going to drop a different piece of advice on you. Pioneers, get arrows in the back. It's no longer really PC to say that, but I don't care. I'm going to say it today anyway. Here's what that really interpretation. It means that you can be massively rewarded for doing something that's never done before, or you're going to be massively unrewarded by learning why people actually don't do that. Me, if I had to guess, I'm going to put it in a category called bad idea. By the way, most of my ideas are bad, and I have a team that saves me from my bad ideas. So when you have an idea, make sure you have a trusted group of advisors that you can ask, is this a good idea or not? I'm glad you asked that. By the way, just because you asked, you deserve $20, May 6th. Get yourself registered, drop that right there, cha-ching, and just keep having more idea iterations until you have better ideas.
Okay, Peon Dion.
Peon Dion. I'm just going to not calling you Peon.
Says, is $280K too high of a house price in Orlando?
Okay, Orlando for Dion is $280,000 too high. Orlando's a market that I have been buying real estate in for the last one of my 3 hot markets. I'm almost done getting inventory in that market at all anymore. So let me throw this out there. $280,000, my typical purchase price has been between $160 and $200. It depends on the square feet, the bedrooms and bathrooms. But here's my rule, Dion. I don't like to buy real estate over the median. And I'm not talking about, but Kris, the median went up, so I'm safe. No. The median is going to come back down. Check this out. Do you know that over the last 65 years, that the average national price increase is 4.68%. So when it goes up 15 or 20%, is that real? It will course correct. Don't make decisions based on what's happened in the last 12 months. Think in decades, not in years. So by the way, if the national median was $250,000 and it went up another 5%, then 5% of $250,000 is $12,500. I'm going to track that it should be a $262,000 home, and the next year that it's going to be maybe $276,000 or whatever that number is. I do the math. I'm tracking this number. This is the real number. This is the course correction number. Don't make financial decisions based on what's happening right now because you're market chasers. And chasers, it's going to be a bloodbath. You're going to get destroyed. Do you realize in the next 5 to 10 years how many homes are going to go back to the banks when the price is course correct? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make money on the upswing but I'm not buying Dion $280,000 houses. My average purchase price is $200,000. I'm still $50,000 below the national median. That is on purpose. Would I buy this home for $280,000 as an investment property? The big fat answer is heck no, hell no. I ain't touching that deal. Great question, by the way. Make sure you knock up this information. Go ahead and text 801-252-5602. Drop your name and Venmo handle. I got $20 coming your way. Thank you for creating that. I mean, I feel like we're doing as much as we can.
It's auction.
I got a 30-minute cap. By the way, someone go get me my phone. Will you do that, Luke? And just tell me what my next appointment is. Figure out if I can push it off, because I want to create as much value as I possibly can. Hopefully you are also enjoying this. I love these mentor give back moments. Usually I'm flying somewhere in the world and I'll drop first class, and if I get really good Wi-Fi access, I'll say, text me anything you want. You guys are asking really intelligent questions. By the way, May 6th with Golf DeRoos, it is the master event of all events for me for this entire year, because for the first time ever, I'm debuting commercial in a manner that gives you the possibility of making a lot of money, more than just a single family home, a lot of money in a very short period of time. Guys, I just pushed things around. I got time for you. Give me another one.
Perfect. Daniela says, hi, Kris.
What's up, Daniela? How you doing?
What do you think the real estate market is going to be within the next 2 to 3 years?
First of all, I just want to say thank you, Danielle, for representing the women here, because there are literally like 12% women usually. So you're one of them. Welcome. What's the real estate market going to be for the next?
What is it? Let's see. What do you think the real estate market is going to be within the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, let's talk about the next 2 to 3 years. So these are the market forces, Daniela, that are happening right now. Rates are at a 50-year low. Demand is at a historic, never been tracked to be this low before. Sorry, I gave you the wrong arrow. It's at an all-time high. Supply is at its all-time low. And how many homes are we missing? The demand, according to Wall Street Journal, is 4 million. There's a lot of other sources that call that 2 million. I think there's some vanity numbers in there. And let's talk about what happened in 2008. 2008, if any of you were alive or you remember what happened back then, I was a brand new little baby investor, got my feet wet, I was financially free. When 2008 hit, guess what I did? I jumped in the game, and everyone panicked, freaked out, and got out of the game of real estate. Because the market had crashed hardcore. Guess what I did? I went to Phoenix, went to Vegas, I started buying homes for pennies on the dollar. I literally got them at 60 and 80% discounts. 5 years later, when people started to breathe again, I helped my investors clear over $100 million. Right now, we have not recovered from 2008. After the recovery, we were missing 400,000 homes. There was no bubble. But then, month over month, this number increased until we crossed the 1 million line a few years later. Then we crossed the 2 million line, and COVID then changed everything because people want a different kind of house to live in because they're not going back to work. And that's affecting the commercial industry, hence May 6th. Well, what does all this mean? You have to ask yourself, if all the builders try to build as many houses as possible, first of all, what's going to happen? It's going to drive the price up. This is supply and demand. When this many people want houses and there's only this many available, the prices skyrocket. Now, this is bad if you're a consumer. This is really good if you're an investor. The bigger question, though, Danielle, that you have to be asking yourself is, how long will it take for us to resolve the missing 2, 3, or 4 million homes? And based on my math and the number of builders out there, it can't be done in 5 years. Which means there can't be a bubble, and yet prices can go up. And furthermore, let me give you a wicked piece of information. Did you know that the average national price of a home, when the national median at the end of last year was $309,000, do you know what it actually cost to build that house with prices increasing? $302,000. So the prices jumped up, and at first it was in response to the building costs, not necessarily just supply and demand. I think we're going to see that same trend go down for the next, when you say 2 or 3 years, I think for the next 5 years, it'll be the juiciest time to be in the game of real estate. When this number, I'm going to ask before you, I'm going to ask Kris, when's this bubble going to pop? When we have less than 400,000 demand for homes, I'm going to be rip-roaring, selling everything when everyone is buying this crazy. I'm going to cash in on $1,000. Then I'm going to sit back on the couch for a minute. The market's going to crash. Everyone's going to lose everything. And then I'm going to clean up this economy again. But I'm going to do it even bigger than I did in 2008, which led me to over $1 billion in transactions. Again, if you want to get in on that action, if you have over $50,000 that is sitting in a 401k, an IRA, the stock market, cryptocurrency, or equity in a home, or a home equity line of credit, if you hit kriskrohn.com partnering, I've got the ability, potential, if my team likes you, if they like you, I'll like you. We'll partner up, I'll take you to the best markets and make it fully turnkey, and I'll make sure that we take this $50,000 and turn it into millions of dollars way sooner than I normally would, because my ROIs are not 25% a year. We're looking at 50 to 75% a year, in some cases 100%. It is nuts. And you're either sitting on the couch doing nothing, or you're making life happen. If you want to know what it looks like to make life happen, you're doing one of two things. If you've got the dough, you're going to go to kriskrohn.com/partnering. You're going to put your information in there and wait by the phone for a phone call that says, hey, let's talk about partnering with Kris if it's a possibility. Or the other thing you're going to do is you're going to click the link that's been reestablished in the comments below, and you're going to go ahead and get registered as a free mastermind event on May 6th for me to talk about the commercial space and what Dolph DeRoos, the king of commercial, the most knowledgeable man in the game of real estate commercial, the entire enterprise, what is he doing right now to buy no money down deals, and how can you do that too? It's going to be dope. All right, guys, we've got time for 2 more questions.
Okay. Nick in Kentucky says, when is the correct time to bring everything into an LLC? Currently, I have 4 properties, about 60 to 75K equity in total.
Okay, Nick, first of all, fantastic question. Let's talk first, everyone, about what an LLC is. It is a limited liability corporation. When you establish a business, what investing in real estate is, you're going to set up a business for it. You've heard of S Corps and C Corps and LPs, limited partnerships. In real estate, you always use a limited liability corporation. And now by law, I have to also say, make sure that you consult with your tax advisor. Bottom line, LLCs is what you're going to use for holding your real estate. And Nick is asking this question, Kris, I have 4 homes, here they are, and when should I deposit them into my LLC? Well, Nick, first of all, let's assume for a moment that one of your 4 homes is a home that you live in. That is private. You do not want to put that in the LLC. The 3 homes that are not yours, or if all 4 of them are things that are rented out, you're going to quit claim them all into the limited liability company. You go to the title company, you just sign a single piece of paper, and they basically say your corporation or your LLC now owns these properties. Why would someone do that? It's not for tax benefits. It's for protection. The number one reason is that if you have a slip and fall, anything happens on the property, they don't come after you personally for any liability. They go after the properties. And your properties, unless they're owned outright, they should have insurance on them. And that insurance is usually going to cover you for up to $250,000, usually $500,000 per incident, which is enough to handle. Now, by the way, after owning thousands of properties, asking me how many lawsuits I've ever had from a slip and fall case or anything, period.
How many, Kris?
1. That's it. 1, and it was for a total different, unrelated reason. And by the way, did it cost me any money? No. Am I glad I have LLCs? Yes. Do LLCs cost money to maintain? Well, I got hundreds of them, and I'm just going to tell you that there's a little bit of maintenance cost on there, but it's not much, and it's worth the peace of mind. You should own real estate. You should own it inside of an LLC, and the moment you buy it, you put it in there, and you need to get that taken care of yesterday. Got it? Great question, by the way. $20 coming your way. Go to 801-252-5602. Only for Nick at this moment, or Tim, or those that have gone before. Just go ahead and text us your name and your Venmo handle, and boom, got $20 coming your way. Go have lunch on me. All right. One more. Is this a good one? This is the last question.
Yes, it is a good one. It is from Tom E plus 12.
Tommy 12. We're just going to call you Tommy 12. What do we got, Tommy?
What should I invest my 50K in? IRA, question mark?
I said no dumb
The people want to know.
questions.
People want to know.
All right, Tommy. Let's have a little heart-to-heart, you and I. I'm a little offended, but because I love you, we're going to do this. And if any of you have a 401k or an IRA, I'm going to try hard not to help you feel obliterated like an absolute idiot with what I'm about to say, but I just want to warn you, that's likely going to happen. Let me share with you why. There's conventional thinking. You and I are raised up in a world that says, these are the smart institutional financial choices that you should make. Get education, go to college, work for someone else, and die poor. Die poor. Why does that go down? Let me tell you, Tommy, what happens here. You're being told that you should put money in an IRA. And you got 50 grand, and you're like, Kris, my CPA says if I put my money there, then that's money that I can save some money. I'm going to save $6.82 on my taxes this year. If I lock up my money inside an IRA, if I ever want to touch it again, I have to pay a 10% penalty. Tommy, is there any chance that you're going to find something more interesting than an IRA? Let me break it down for you. Your IRA, no matter which one you pick, no matter Charles Schwab company you go with, they're going to disclose a 30-year average earnings. and the 30-year average earnings is right around 6% per annum. Now let me show you how boring as anything 6% is. Let's say that you take your 50 grand, you have it earning 6% for 20 years. What should it turn into? It's going to turn into $160,000. Tommy, is there a chance 20 years from now that you're thinking, I'd sure love to retire? Well, good thing I put my 50 grand in my IRA, now I got 160 grand. I live off of $80,000 a year, so guess what? I can retire for 2 years. It's not great. When I talk about 50 grand becoming millions of dollars in real estate, don't listen to me. Just listen to the richest man on the planet at the time, Carnegie, that said 90% of all millionaires did it in real estate, and that's most certainly where the other millionaires are storing it. That's the bottom line. You say Kris Krohn, what about a 401k? You say Kris Krohn, what about an IRA? You say Kris Krohn, what about... If it is any of this 6% bullcrap, period, you need to understand that also one of the smartest people on the planet, Albert Einstein, said this. He said, compound interest is the coolest, smartest, and best financial invention ever created. Caveat, Albert, it's not, unless it's a double-digit or greater ROI. This single digit sucks eggs. This is exciting if you like Dave Ramsey. This is not exciting if you actually want any kind of financial future. So while Albert Einstein was a super smart dude with wild, crazy hair, which I think is kind of hipster cool, guess what? 6% doesn't compound to anything meaningful. It's $160,000. It sucks. You know how hard you have to work, Thomas, to put $50,000 aside? For heaven's sakes, when you get on the other side, do you want the Lord to say you buried your talents or you made smart moves? This is called burying your talents and being stupid. Well, I think I offended anyone that has a 401k or an IRA, or maybe I was the only voice of reason that said have a life. Like, do you want to be financially free? Do you want to have options? Because here's what money is. Money is options. What can you do with $50,000? Amazing, beautiful things. Unless you say, I want to save $6.82. I'm going to lock it up in an IRA. I'll get penalized if I try to touch my own money, and it grows at nothing percent. Yay! Instead, take your $50,000 and do what rich people do. Rich people, study them. They're either rich in real estate, they're rich in business, or they're rich in both because real estate is business. All right, I think I was...
Do you have a mic you can drop?
Tommy, I would like to send you a $20 handkerchief of I'm sorry if there's tears. All you have to do is text 801-252-5602 and just say my name is Tommy and also the Venmo handle. But one more thing, I want you to text, I will never put my $50,000 in an IRA. If you text that, Christine, send him $50 because I'm celebrating you, my friend. All right, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the Kris Krohn Show. It was your questions. You evoked all of this mayhem, but I hope that it is going to help you today be a much more financially intelligent investor, rocking your life, rocking your world. I've appreciated sharing this time with you. As a couple of final notes, if you got $50,000 earning something really sad like we've been talking about, 6% or less than 10%, understand that double-digit ROI real estate can take 50 grand and turn it into millions. And if you want to know how, go to kriskrohn.com. My name is spelled weird. My dad spelled my name like a girl. It's KRISKROHN.com/partnering. And also, if you're thinking, Kris, I've got $50,000. So am I screwed? Did I just miss the year of the decade of the century to be an investor in real estate? Not necessarily. There's a link right here for May 6th. Get yourself registered right there in the comments below. It's a free event. It's me and Dolph DeRoos, and here's my promise. We're going to teach you 5 techniques for buying real estate with no money and no credit, and we're going to show you a type of deal that a single deal can get you financially free. If that sounds exciting, make sure you click the link, get registered. Other than that, thank you guys so much. Looking forward to joining you next time.